So good morning. This is Nereida La Sirena with Celestial Soul Wellness. So most of you know that I have been doing a water fast. It's been interesting. I would say so. I've been doing some herbal teas with the water fast. So let me just be honest with that. Like right now, I'm drinking a lemon chamomile tea, and wow. I don't know where to start. I've been experiencing things, which has been interesting because I say it's been interesting because I've already been going through a detox with the Gerson therapy and the tapering off of the coffee enemas, become coffee breaks. And so, I'm at 3 and I'm really excited because come the new moon, I'm going to go down to 2 and I get to function more in life. That the time that I was spending doing those detoxes, I slowly get to implement life. It's been very interesting. This is just the morning, so I don't know how far I'm going with the water fast today. I've never done that, so I do know I just like warm stuff in the morning. It just kind of soothes my soul. So doing a tea in the morning really feels good, and then drinking alkaline water for the rest of the day. Why even do a water fast if I've been doing the detoxing, the Gerson therapy, and eating vegan? That's a very good question, and I'm going to approach it by saying, why not? I've gone this far. I figured I might as well go all the way. What all the way is I just don't know. The full moon passed last weekend, and so it was in Pisces, and it was on my north node of my soul purpose, and so on Wednesday I was just like, I don't feel like eating. Just felt like drinking water. Didn't feel like having the juices. And I just went with it. And we went to yoga later on, at the beach. Interesting enough, no one showed up. It happens sometimes, the free yoga at the beach. So I took advantage. My friend and I, we walked along the shore and got to experience the waves. It was nice, cool water, but not too cold to walk in, but too cold to swim in, I would say, for me, though the dogs were just splashing in there wonderfully. And so I figured, why not? If I'm ever going to do this, I might as well do this now. And who knows if I'll have time in the 3D world to ever do this again. A sanctuary, a safe place to heal, which I've been very thankful for, to family members who have supported me and with emotional support, my cheering squad being there for me, having cousins who just all around. I mean, during this whole time, a lot of you, if you don't recall, the reason why I even started on the Gerson therapy is because I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, breast cancer, and so I was not ready to die. I'm not ready to die. No, it's not an option. I was not going to do chemotherapy, radiation. I'm touching here because it was on this side. A laser, all that stuff. I was just like, no. As a health specialist, and I have another video, how does a health specialist get, cancer? I knew right away the steps I needed to go. I needed to detox and really get serious. I was doing just enough to get by. You know how we do that? Like, this is good enough. And okay. And then when the cancer came out, I knew that I needed to take a step forward and up the ante a little. And I hope that's the correct expression. So, and that's what I did, you know, and did the Gerson, yeah, actually I upped it a lot. It said, okay, let's just drain this cancer, because we all have cancer cells in our body, just so you know. Okay, it's more or less, are you feeding the cancer cells or not? Okay, and I wanted to drain those cancer cells and starve them, so that way their presence was not so prominent and an issue to the point that, you know, it was life or death. So I pause because I'm trying to choose my words well, you know. So I am on day 3. This is the morning, drinking the tea. I've been feeling great. Last night I had a little bit of a, they call it healing crisis or healing process. I prefer saying healing process because I had this pain right here. It was exactly where I got an epidural after 20 hours of pain and labor with my son. Actually, it was pain, not labor. And that's not because he or anything. It's just part of, you know, the birthing process, right? But after 20 hours, we finally gave in, and I said we because it was a unanimous decision of the group, because in the beginning, I was not going to do an epidural by no. Millions of women gave birth without epidurals, you know, so I was going to do it too. I didn't want any medications or anything into my that might affect my son. But we ended up doing that, and it came back. I was feeling it like, oh, like a mother. Okay, taking the shot was easier than what I was going through last night, and early this morning. So, and I felt it all the way to the back of my neck, and was releasing a lot of emotional issues, and even thinking about it because, you know, a lot of times they say, I know when I was growing up, they wanted you to deny your emotions and what you were feeling. And that was the generation, okay? That's how they survived, our parental generations. A lot of parents, especially from different countries, had gone through wars, world wars, or Korean, Vietnam revolutions, or they were products of that. And so they did what they thought was best to survive, okay? And taught us they didn't have time to acknowledge some of the emotions, and yet here we have some of us who are coming a lot more, you know, crystal childs, indigo children, rainbow children, you know, all these different names that are coming here, visiting this planet, this 3D world, yet are very connected to the 5th dimension. And so the parental group is trying to adjust, you know. And that's one thing I really had this like epiphany yesterday. I was working with a client. It's really neat to be working with clients and healing them during this process, because I feel very, very connected to Source, Universe, Divine Creator, all that is. And just like, oh my gosh, you know, just like cleansed. And that the energy just goes through me so much quicker, you know, to the client, to the people I'm working with. You know, I don't heal. I'm a conductor of healing, a conduit, a funnel. And so I was usually after I work with a client, I'd let them know what I see. What is it that I've witnessed? Either be it stones, you know, the story, or emotions, past life, present life, anything that Source, Divine Creator, all that is, wants them to know, or their angels, or their light team. And so as I was explaining certain stuff, I told her too that, you know, it's good for her to open up, because her North Node is in Pisces also, but it's in the 1st house, so it's really neat, because mine's in the 9th house. And so I was encouraging her, and because this is what she's about. It's in her 1st house, those of you who are astrologers, you know. Yet her ascendant is Aquarius, with her lords, both lords, okay, of Uranus and Saturn in her 11th house, ruled by Jupiter, which was in her 4th house. Okay, just so for those of you who were astrologer or astrologers and like to learn and take a look at that, okay? So you can rewind that, write all that down. I'm not going to put that down. Okay, so anyway, so I was explaining to her how it's really interesting because this detox really, I mean, I really started getting into the healing field back in 2010. I started 11 actually, going a little bit more and more. And so it gave an opportunity to go towards more of the healing field. But this detox gave me permission to be that inner child, everything I had to deny, because what we were being taught of, this is how you survive, okay? And now I get to live. And so allowing and recognizing that is very, very important. I mean, you know, before it's like, oh no, you don't have imaginary friends. That's a bunch of ridiculous things. Don't mention that. And I would see, okay, other souls and spirits. And I had to deny that. I remember one time, he's gonna laugh, my biological father. You know, I was running around naked. I was like 4 or 5 years old, saying I'm an angel, and oh my God, an apple just fell from my grandfather's tree. How beautiful, the green apples, beautiful organic apples. Anyway, so I was running around with a sheet, saying I'm an angel, I'm an angel, I'm flying with the angels, yay, I'm being free with the angels, and instead I got reprimanded. Okay, and being told there was no such thing and that was wrong and all that, and it was just like, whoa. Other things going on is there was a situation where I didn't want to eat. It was like I was denying everything when I've had digestive problems, those of you who've been following me all my life. And it really, really commenced very young, and not for fault from my parents who denied me food or good food or anything. They did everything what they thought and were taught that was right. It was just me who didn't want to eat meat. I didn't want dairy products. Never liked it. Oh my gosh, I remember they used to threaten me to do something by putting cheese in front of me, and I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. I used to know when the dogs would come by, I used to spit out the meat and give it to them. I really just wanted to when my mom would give me juices, I just loved it, okay? And fruits and vegetables, I could have been happy. And the funny thing about that is, all the stuff that I got denied about, not because, again, that they were bad, they're good people, you know, they, both biological parents are wonderful people, you know, they're still alive, and I send them healing, loving light. It just, they did what they were told and what they knew what was best, you know. There weren't all these like parenting books back then. Even then, now some of them don't recognize the spiritual and emotional side and how to deal with that, you know. And that's what these videos are, is to help people acknowledge and how to deal with that, because we're having more and more of that going on with kids with autism, you know, ADD, ADHD, kids having cancer so young, and kidney failures, and there's a lot of Hashimoto's going on, Epstein-Barr virus, shingles, and there are different herpes viruses, and it just, this whole fibromyalgia, all this stuff going on. We're not acknowledging why, okay? There's a lot of suppression. And so what's interesting is everything I had to suppress, I've been dealing with and letting out, and being able to embrace that side of me, and still, you know, embrace being connected with Source in the fifth dimension, and still function in the 3D world, trying to find that balance. And you know, I've gone with a lot of mentors and studyings, and finding that balance, because you can't deny that we are here in the third dimension. We have chosen to come into this dimension, each soul. And so we have to find that fine balance all the time without denying ourselves. So anyway, please continue to follow me. If you liked any part of this video, give me a thumbs up. All right. and share with others, because every time you guys press on, the advertisements come in or anything like that, it supports me, and really this detox, since health insurance doesn't cover alternative ways of detoxing, which is sad. So if you're a person who has some pull in the health industry, do somehow for other people, get this, that alternative, methods of detoxing be supported by the insurance companies, I used a no-walk juicer, and if I'm making co-ops of real organic, because people really don't want things cut out of their body, or and putting all this medication, okay? They know it can be done natural. We know intuitively, okay? And it can, because I am proof. Now, the true proof will be 5-10 years from now, how long it sustained this method of eating. And there are thousands of people who have gone through the Gerson detox therapy, and 10-20 years later they are still doing good. There are other people who did the therapy but then went back to the old way of eating, either paleo style or including dairy products and gluten and meats in their body. And of course then, they're just feeding back the cancer cells. They're doing the same lifestyle that created the problem, and then they complain that it didn't work. Well, no, they are not working, and it is a lifestyle one has to just dedicate themselves and say, okay, I want to be clean. I love my family that much, my loved ones, okay, that I'm going to keep clean so I could be there for them. Because a lot of times, and this is hard, and people are not going to want to admit it and accept it, that when we give in to our addictions, it's very, very selfish, all right? And it is very saying, I'm going to talk and say, yes, I love you, and I'm going to be there for you, but on my conditions, on the way I want to, not the way you want to. And it's very hard, because really 90-some% of our relationships are conditional, even with our children, yes, if you really think about it. But do see my other videos. I do have vegan recipes up. I'm going to start the astrology back, since I was so busy with the detoxing I didn't have time. We have a new moon in Pisces coming up, 2008. I'm sorry, new moon in Virgo, in September, yay, 9th, 10th of September, and I'm going to be doing a video on that. And so also have the universal essential laws, because essentially, if you follow those laws, life is so much easier, and those are the basis of any energy and spiritual connections. Okay, bye for now. Josita.